Good evening. That was Alfred Hitchcock. Good evening. How many of you even know who Alfred Hitchcock was? 1955 to 1965, he did 360 episodes. And here we are. I don't know. We've done a TNAM night show before. Actually, this one's still processing. It's not loading the image. I can't show you full screen, at least our temporary image for this one. Trying to upload it. See if it'll take or not. It just says processing. But here, we'll put it in the corner. That's one of them. Oh, there we go. Look at that. I was going to call it the TNAM night show. I don't know, something has a good ring to it. The TNAM PM show. TNAM PM. You know, this has probably been in the works for a long time, doing consistent shows at night. I sort of settled into the noon thing. And there are good components to the noon thing. I'm not saying that I'm going to abandon the noon thing. But I do kind of like the idea of checking in every 12 hours. You know, one part of the day and then later part of the day. The news cycle can change so, I'm going to say this intentionally incorrect, dramatically. Mashing up two words to form another word is called a portmanteau. T-E-A-U, portmanteau. Not a poor man's toe, a portmanteau. Yes, dramatically. Thanks for being here. It's been requested. It's been suggested. It hasn't just been from a couple of you in chat. Some of our new regulars. Some of our regulars. Some of our future regulars. No, they couldn't have suggested it. Over the years, many people have said, why don't you do it at night? Why don't you do it at night? Well, I'm going to do it at night. Doggone it. Consarn it. How about it? I am going for it. Amen. It's your show. You call it whatever you want. Yeah, TNAM PM show. How about the TNAM PM show? How about that? I think that's what we're going with. No. Hold on, Dina. Dina's saying, hey, we're the monkeys. No. Come on, Dina. You know better. You're on the softball team, right? Hey, we're the pandas. We're the raccoons. Hey, we're the raccoons. People say we knock trash around, but we're too busy libertying to give a shit about any of that. Hey, we're the trash pandas. Yeah, you're right there, Dina. You're number 7. We're not the monkeys. We're the raccoons. Of course, that's because we rifle through the rubbish, separating fake news from fact. We did that. Man, I can't even think how far back that was. But I believe it was John, founding member of our TNAM meme team, said, make us an image about the trash pandas. And it was a panda at the trash. I go, no, it's not a panda. The trash pandas are what they call raccoons. And they knock the trash cans over. They knock the lids off and they rifle through the rubbish. You've watched that show, American Pickers. I've been a reseller my whole life. Garage sales, estate sales, thrift shops, marketplace buys, whatnot, all that stuff. And, you know, when you're driving down the road and you go, whoa, what's that? Can I tell you how many times someone was throwing out a vintage rally bicycle? I think it was Rally. No, Schwinn. I think it was Schwinn. It just needed new tires. It's from like the mid 80s. Got a couple $100 for that. You know, not too shabby. Found a nice Drexel piece of furniture. Sold that for $75. It's like people are just leaving $100 bills on the road. So sometimes you rifle through the rubbish. But for trash pandas, for the raccoons, I'm trying to think, what are some of my greatest trash bin scores? I got a big Rockstar energy drink cooler that you fill with ice. It's almost like if you go to Speedway or something, and it'll have Red Bulls in it. Or no, this one was Rockstar. Picked it up, got 2 of them off the side of the road. Rolled it into the garage, put it on. Actually, I think that was a garage sale. $100. There was an air hockey table. Can't remember, 85 maybe, 80 out of that. So yes, trash pandas are looking for good stuff. Sometimes very good stuff is tossed into the dumpster. And so the raccoons will look for it. I remember when I went to the Greater World Earthship community out in Taos, New Mexico, building off-the-grid self-sustainable homes out of tires and bottles and cans. We stayed in a communal facility called the Hive, Housing for Interns, Volunteers, and Employees, the Hive. I mean, it was like 20 or 30 of us from all parts of the world, really. And hippies. You want to talk about off-the-grid hippies on a 640-acre experimental building facility? And so they would go into town. It was about, I don't know, what was it, 15, 30 minutes, call it 20 minutes away, 25 minutes into Taos. And they had a whole plan, and this was like the group that was staying there when I got there, and this is what they did. They'd make communal dinners. And so they'd go to the grocery store, and at the back of the grocery store, they would set out fresh produce in a spot for people to pick up. They would say, we can't sell this anymore, but it's still great food. We just can't sell it. And so we'd take a trip or two and collect a whole bunch of stuff, fresh tomatoes, all sorts of peppers and onions. I mean, nothing wrong with any of this. So they would go dumpster diving for food. I mean, there was a whole organized system with the hippie community out there with the earth shipbuilders off the grid. And we'd make these big, awesome joint meals. No, I don't mean joints were involved with the meals. However, I mean, get 30 hippies together, you tell me. But yeah, that's where the trash pandas come from. So, hey, we're the monkeys. No. Leanne said, hey, I'm here. No, hey, we're the trash pandas. Anyway, everybody, thank you all so much for being here. There's a huge bear roaming the area. Liberty Tango, where are you at? I'm sorry, I probably asked you before. Are you in Texas? Yeah, I had a couple stray cats wandering my property, and I put some food out. And it was like the week after my 20-year buddy, Nimbus, passed away. You see Nimbus on the screen. Right there on the lower left. That's exactly what he'd do, too. If there were some baseballs or softballs and a baseball bat, he would go find them and lay on top of them. So, yes. There's that. Oh, Leanne saying I've seen those on video. You mean the Earth ships? Yeah, if you go to I like YouTube just fine. I like the letter YouTube just fine. And scroll around, you'll see a bunch of songs my band over the years have performed and recorded. Twist of Nothing. Or Fuzz Installment all the way. I don't think I've put that set online. Maybe I should. But there's... No. I think the New American Media, if you type Earthship. Oh, that reminds me. I have a whole documentary I've never edited together. And then I had a glitch unzipping the file, so I can't access them. I got to try it again. Thanks for the reminder. But yeah, I did a whole documentary on it. But I did a mini documentary that used to be embedded on the Earthship website for the interns and volunteers. Yeah, the Earth ships are great. I got to move in there for 6 weeks. It was an absolutely incredible experience. Okay, you're in the extreme Northeast. What is extreme Northeast Georgia? You're like on the tippy tip? Georgia, what? I don't have my map in front of that. That's right underneath South Carolina. Well, thanks for being here, Liberty Tango and everybody else. We're going to dig through the news. We're going to rifle through the rubbish, separating fake news from fact. Just like the raccoons have to find, oh my gosh, look at all this fresh organic produce. There's nothing wrong with this. It's fantastic. And it was all in a sealed bag. So it's been protected from anything it might have touched in the container or in other bags. It's great. But then the raccoons find a bunch of baby diapers, and you know what? And I mean used baby diapers. And I will say, covering the news for 15 years here on the New American Media. By the way, hit the thumbs up button, hit like, hit subscribe. Text this show out to somebody, share it on X, share it on Facebook, text it to someone on their phone in a text message. Let's invite some people to this bar. I'm Brian. I'll be your bartender. We're going to talk about the stuff on the screens. There's a lot of rough stories out there that we have to cover, and it's brutal. So I try to mix in some humor when it's appropriate. I even do it when it's inappropriate. And I could rattle off a list of times that I've been cracking jokes, whether it was when my mother or my aunt were passing away. I was cracking jokes, perhaps at inopportune times, but it's sort of what I do. But yeah, we'll find a lot of stories from time to time that are like opening up a trash bag in that pile, and it's used baby diapers, and I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to cover it. I don't want to rant about it, especially when I don't have time to process something and like I might come in a little too hot. That's the news. That's what I do. I react to this shit every day. It's what I do. And, maybe that's because, maybe something about what we're doing is resonating with you out there. And that's why you're here today. So thank you so much. We're doing the TNAM PM show tonight. How do we feel about this graphic? It's Grok just threw it together for me, and I think it's okay. I think it's okay. And I realize I don't have a TNAM PM show intro set up. The one I'm going to show you is going to say the Agree to Disagree show, because that's the name of what the show was for about 12 years. But now the Agree to Disagree show is when we have a guest. TNAM Daily show is what we've been doing at noon, high noon Eastern time, for 2 or 3 years now. But now the TNAM PM show is here. So we're going to talk about the Supreme Court. I mean, there are cases in the wings. A lot of people are expecting a lot of rulings tomorrow. Is it going to come through? I don't know. But man, oh man, is it going to be exciting if it does happen. And hopefully it'll be good stuff. On the bad side, socialists appear to have conquered New York, just like they conquered Minneapolis. What is happening? From Dearborn to Minneapolis to New York, it sort of seems like what they tried to do in Europe to overthrow those sovereign nations with non-citizens, it seems like that's what they're trying to do here. Yeah, you got Marxists over here trying to basically, well, there's the oppressed and the oppressors. Oh, look, that person has more than you have. Get them. So the dopey Democrats, because they poll at about 15, 17, 19, 20% approval rating, 81% disapproval rating. They don't have numbers. And now, of course, the Democrat Party doesn't exist in all these other countries, but the Marxists do, the globalists do, the New World Order types do, the traitors do. But they know we can't win an election with 20%, so they fled the country with people that don't belong there, that didn't walk in the front door, they snuck in the back door, illegally. The Islamists, the Islamic supremacists, because that's what it is, that's what is taught. It's to go in a caliphate and conquer the globe. Europe may be lost. England may be lost. And you know what happened the last time that happened with an Islamic invasion of Europe? It led to the Crusades. You were probably taught in the schools that the Crusades were awful. They were repelling an invasion. And yes, awful things happen in war. You know, and I used to say, when I lived in Los Angeles, we trapped about 135 cats. We had 25 buildings in the homeowners association, 25 other buildings that weren't ours. And the cats were going underneath those little access panels, little rectangles at the bottoms of these 8 to 12 unit buildings. And one cat under there has a litter. Now you got 7 stray cats. So what we did was we went around, we evacuated underneath the buildings, then we sealed them up, then we trapped the cats, we spayed and neutered them, TNR, clipped their ears, and let them back out. And it was a painstaking process. It took a while. It took some time. It took some money. Money was a lot of time and maybe driving for a couple hours, but you'd have to trap them and keep them overnight. And I'd bring them inside. I'd have to hold them overnight. Then get up right first thing in the morning and load the blazer full of cats, sometimes stacking them on top of each other. Take them up to, where was that? Past Pasadena. And with traffic, I mean, it could be an hour and a half to get where we were going. But there were free clinics that would spay and neuter the animals, ear tip them, so you'd know that you've caught them before, so you don't have to go through it again. And it was a lot of work. Then you'd have to bring them back, and then you'd have to hold on to them for a day or 12 hours, make sure they've healed from the surgery, let them just stay calm so they're not jumping and running and, ripping a stitch or something. And I would talk to people, and the phrase I came up with was, the only thing worse than it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of hassle. But the only thing worse than going through all that is not doing it. Because one cat turns into 13, and then you have some frustrated neighbor call the City of LA City of LA Animal Control. And they would come with their traps, and they would euthanize the cats. I didn't want to see that. But when we did TNR, we found permanent homes for about 35 of them. Nimbus was an outdoor cat that we rescued, and Mr. Bean, he was an outdoor cat that we rescued. But yeah, the only thing worse than covering the news is not covering it, staying ignorant. The only thing worse than war and the atrocities of war is allowing yourself to be abused and invaded and overthrown, conquered, enslaved by people that demand you do what they say or else. Well, that's a non-starter here. It's been said that America is our last great hope on earth. And here we are. And that's why we do what we do, because the only thing worse than spending this much time trying to save the country is letting it fall to the invaders. The invaders could be Democrats, they could be globalists, they could be Islamic supremacists. It could be all sorts of things. It could just be to the bankers, 37 trillion in debt. Cool story. I never signed up for 37 trillion. Go collect it from the people that spent it. I didn't spend it. So yeah, the only thing worse than just going along with what's happening and the only thing worse than putting all this energy into fight for the nation is letting it happen, because that's when the horror show comes to town. Ask England. Ask Europe. But here on the New American Media, we cover stories that are underreported. We had interesting slant to it. I've been away from getting the big name guests for a while. Not that I'm against it. I've sort of been doing this thing. I've never really done a daily show before. And I do need a new chair, because this one, I think the hydraulics are a little wonky. So if you see me reaching and bouncing, that's what that's about. And I got another chair right there, and I have another chair right there. I just got to swap them out, I suppose. But yeah, the only thing worse than the atrocities of war would be rolling over, and then it's a slow war every day where you've sold yourself out, sold your principles out, and you're getting abused nonstop, being compelled to do things that, you know what, you don't want to do. No, I'm good. I don't want to be ruled by a caliphate. No, I'm good. I don't want to be ruled by the New World Order. No, I'm good. I don't want to be ruled by Marxists. No, I'm good. I don't want the uniparty rhinos and the deep state Democrats ruining my life. Thank you very much. And I've seen this comment in various forms over the past couple of days, especially, if President Trump wouldn't have won in 2016, we'd probably be like Europe right now. At least we had those 4 years of Trump to block the Obama doctrine, the Obama agenda. Now, I still consider that an Obama term. I still consider him to have had 4 terms in a row, including Joe Biden. Joe Biden was so out to lunch. He had nothing to do with that presidency. Except occasionally they'd wheel him out like Hannibal Lecter and go, come on, man. You know the thing. The biggest threat in America is white supremacy. And they say America's not going to be a European descent nation in a generation. It won't be a white European descent country in real soon, and that's a good thing. And you give you that creepy Joker smile, and you're like, who the hell is writing this script for this guy? And you got Mayorkas looking like a Halloween mask next to him going, yes, say it. That bald, weird-headed Mayorkas. You know what Mayorkas looked like? He looked like the executioner of Melissa Hortman up in Minneapolis. Remember that terrified lady that was asked a question at a press conference about why she passed their budget? The budget that was going to strip the theft of Minneapolis funds to be given to Somali pirates stealing our treasure. She was shaking and terrified. Lord knows how they threatened her. And then that dude showed up in a fake cop mask, that big bald-headed cop mask, killed her and her husband. That's what Mayorkas looked like. Part gargoyle and part that guy. We've been subjected to so much abuse through the media, the Democrat politicians, and the indoctrinators in our schools. Yeah, they've been Marxist indoctrination camps. And we've been off the rails for a while, but damn it, this is a country worth fighting for. It's our 250th birthday. So, you know what? I think I can do a TNAM night show, a TNAM PM show. I'll get a proper intro at some point. For now, I'll play the Agree to Disagree and TNAM Daily Show intro for you. But, maybe I'll keep this image. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll get guests. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll turn it into a late night comedy show and we can actually have some writing and tell some jokes and panel discussions. That would be a lot of fun. It's also a lot of production and pre-planning. But we'll see how it goes. I just want to say thank you for being here. Hit the thumbs up button. Invite a friend. And I just want to remind you that the ways you can support the New American Media: Patreon, Rumble, and YouTube. You can sign up to become a monthly sponsor. Super easy, as little as $5 a month. It really matters. It really adds up. The more of you that just sign up to be a monthly, it's like every first of the month, I'm going to know, all right, good. Another Lego building block arrived. I can continue building the foundation of this. And the more of you that there are, the more we can do. You can also drop a Rumble Rant tip or a Super Chat tip. Venmo Cash App is my name, Brian Engelman. And PayPal is fuzzinstallment@yahoo.com email address. It's all scrolling at the bottom of the screen. We appreciate every one of you who has contributed and supported us. And we appreciate all of you who will be doing that soon. Maybe even tonight for the first time. I don't know. But for now, we're going to dig into some of the news. So buckle up, buttercups. The TNAM PM show starts now.
guide to the truth. thenewamericanmedia.com.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Pulling up the chats. Hold on. 2 comments that didn't post. Horsewhipped is not acceptable terminology. Look, I can't make sense. I can't make hide nor hairs of these metric booby traps. Yeah, I couldn't tell you what will trigger the dopes at YouTube, Google. And that's why I've had to build alternate timelines. That's why we have to exist on Patreon and Rumble and X. We're on Telegram and Signal at TNAM and TNAM chat. I don't use it very often, but we are there as a backup. Twitch and Kick, we're on there. Please sign up there. And just follow us in the other spots, please. That'd be great. All right, let's pull up some news, see what people are talking about. Okay, got a couple of things here. Oh, look at this. Okay. I do have some news. There's all sorts of interesting things going on. I used to do a show twice a week with Blake Wally. It sort of used to be once a week, and then it was twice a week. And I'm like, I can't wait Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. The amount of news that happens in 5 days is shocking. And now I'm like, I don't think I can go 12 hours without talking about some stuff that's happening. There's so much to it. So let's go ahead and do something I don't normally do. Let's pull up our Truth Social account. Follow us over there, The New American Media. And let's go to our profile page. No, this is the Trump profile. Hold on. Where's our profile? I just had our profile. Where'd it go? Didn't it used to say profile? Oh, this is weird. Oh, there we go. I'll just click there. Yep, there's our Patreon link pinned at the top of our Truth Social page. Here's me filming Dr. Ron Paul giving a keynote address at the 2024 Libertarian Convention. There's my sit down with Anomaly back when Ron DeSantis was running for the Republican nomination. AJ's an interesting feller. Go give him a listen. All right, NTD Plus. What does this stand for? I don't know. According to them, President Trump holds a tense meeting with Senate Republicans just hours after canceling the signing of a bipartisan housing bill, saying his Save America Act must come first. This comes as a federal judge moves to permanently block a key portion of the president's first executive order on election integrity. Yep, that's all they do. Lawfare. Meanwhile, the Democratic Socialist Kingmaker, what Zoran Mamdani's left-leaning slate sweep means for Democrats nationally. All that stuff is happening. Yeah, sanctuary cities. You got to kind of get out of that now, don't you? Check out our earlier show from today. It's here on our Truth Social page. The TNAM Daily Show. Antifa was hammered in the ICE attack sentencing. And yes, President Trump says no more bills until the Save America Act passes. The ringleader of that ICE attack ambush that left an officer dead, 100 years. The rest of them got 50 years. I think one of them got 30. So that's pretty good. Let's check in on here with Vince Coglianesi. I've been watching the Vince show. It's a pretty decent show. I don't know what his deal is. He fills in for Bongino. He has his own show. I don't know. I stumbled across it the other day, but they put in here, Trump's got a solution for the naysayers and the panicans complaining about the Iran deal. Will they listen? Vince says, let the man cook. Let's watch.
We notice all these people were like constantly trying to crap all over Trump because he's trying to secure peace in the Middle East. And there's a lot of lying going on right now by the Iranians, by people in the United States, by people who either don't support Trump or do support Trump, but they're attacking him because they don't like that he's trying to navigate towards peace. Everyone settle the hell down. President Trump says that the naysayers need to be educated.
What will you say to allies of yours like Senator Cruz who've been critical of the Iran deal?
Well, I think anybody that's been critical of it has to be educated, even if they're friends of mine. Because we have Iran in a position that nobody's ever had. This should have been done for 47 years by other presidents. And we have Iran in a position where their military has been totally wiped out, their leadership has been wiped out, their radar has been wiped out. Everything's been wiped out.
Nobody's done more to bring Iran to its heels than Donald Trump, to its knees than Donald Trump. Let the man cook.
I got a lot of buddies that are just like, they've been out on Trump for a while. They think he's, the first term, they said he was a Putin puppet. Now he's a puppet of Netanyahu. As if the only reason to dislike Iran and Hezbollah and Hamas and, I mean, go down the laundry list of, meet your new boss, the same as the old boss. Meet the new terrorist group, same as the other terrorist group. As if the only reason to want to weaken Iran is because of one little guy in one little country over there. There's plenty of reasons. And that whole Islamic Republic of Iran that overthrew a pretty great country in 1979 and messed it all up 47 years ago. There's a lot of reasons. Now, once again, you don't like these couple of months of uncertainty. You don't like any single casualty. You don't like any single loss of treasure. I get that. But as they say, sometimes the only thing worse than doing something is not doing something. And for 47 years, people had their chance and they should have dealt with this. And they didn't. And it just kept festering and growing like a blob, like a cancer, expanding, growing, getting more dangerous. Time will tell. Maybe so, maybe not, but I'm sort of with Vince here. Just let the man cook. He's the only decent president I've had in my lifetime. I mean, you can go, how far back do you have to go? Reagan? I mean, Carter, Ford, Nixon. What are we talking about? Johnson, JFK? Like, how far back do we need to go to find a good president? All right, question of the day. I want to know from you. Agree or disagree? Donald Trump, President Trump, is not the best president of your lifetime. Do you agree or disagree with this statement? President Donald Trump is not the best president of your lifetime. Tell me, agree or disagree, and tell me why in chat. Not going to do a push poll here, but yeah, this is the first time it's sort of felt, at least. And yeah, I have my reservations, I have my questions, I have my qualms, I have my concerns, I have my disagreements. But that doesn't mean you throw the baby out with the bathwater. My libertarian friends, man, they get on my last nerve. They really do. Oh, he did this. He's the worst. Compared to what? Compared to what Kamala would be doing right now? Like, are you serious? Well, no, I voted for a libertarian. I'm high and mighty. Yeah, you threw your vote away. Why don't you step into the arena? You're sitting ringside, yucking it up and pointing out all the failures of the fighters in the ring. Like Roosevelt said in The Man in the Arena. Hey, why don't you jump in there? Why don't you get bloody? Why don't you get covered in dust and sweat, bruised and beaten? It's not so easy when you're inside the ring, is it? Oh, but the armchair quarterback could tell you every Monday what your favorite sports team did wrong. Your favorite football team screwed up, didn't they? Can you believe they called that play? Yeah, what would you have done? Well, I would. No. You wouldn't have, couldn't have, shouldn't have. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. You weren't going to because you didn't. Sorry, I keep doing this. I was laying with my cat. I'm actually allergic to cats. And I just kind of feel like I still have phantom hairs floating around me. Like I said, my whole schedule's a little off right now. But it's like at the slightest disagreement, at the slightest concern of influence or decision or this law, or he's pushing for that, or he did do this, or he didn't do that. These people they're out. They're out on Trump. Okay, cool. Well, what are you advocating for, Kamala? What are you advocating for, Tucker Carlson, Nick Fuentes? What do you? And my buddies, who I'm gonna remain. I'm not gonna air dirty laundry here, and I tell them this stuff. That it's nothing they don't know, but I don't need to bash them here. You want Gavin Newsom? You think life on 100 important issues, you think Gavin Newsom's going to have a higher batting average? Well, no, I'm not saying that, but President Trump, he's not hitting 1,000. Hitting 1,000 in baseball? It's impossible. It's never happened. The best one to ever do it, Ted Williams. Last one to hit 400. That's a failure rate of 6 out of 10. They have something called the Mendoza line. I forget what the exact batting average of that was. But it was something like 120. Hey, Jamie, pull this up for me. What was the Mendoza line? 142 is what I'll say. I guess it's just 200. 200? That's an 8 out of 10 failure rate. Oh, Kamala Harris. Biden? I call it Barack Hussein Obama's third and most honest term. They wish they could hit 200. Could you hit for a negative batting average? Because these clowns were just, it couldn't get more backward and destructive than what we dealt with, you know? So what is the alternative to this? This is the best chance I think we've ever had. Since USA dried up, 7-0. Conservatives or libertarians or constitutionalists or liberty lovers, whatever you want to call it, Trump backed. You could say 0 for 7 for the deep state. Seems like the only bad guys are basically inside of our own intelligence services trying to fuck up this country. Sorry, I sort of usually try to not swear, but like, how do you let so many wolves inside of the hen house? And when you get there, how do you not take care of that issue? God, I saw Tulsi Gabbard, and she's like giving a speech at, what was it, CPAC or Turning Point USA? And she was so defeated. She's like, trust me, we tried as hard as we could, but we are being fought at every level. No shit! That's why you file treason charges. That's why... I didn't anticipate getting this fired up. But holy shit! Where are the treason charges? How about you walk somebody up to the gallows after a military tribunal for fucking treason? And no, I don't intend for this to be the normal tenor of the TNAM PM show. But you got to understand, I'm wired to do this at noon. I'm not drinking coffee. I'm just drinking a sparkling water. And I'm being a little too honest right now. If you don't make examples of these people, they're going to keep doing it. Where are the indictments? And so I get the frustration. I get the people that want to just bail on MAGA. Oh, Trump's not doing anything. Then you got Bongino. He was inside for a year, and he's like, oh, I'll just add this story to the list of Trump's not doing anything. Look, that stat grows every day. Cool. I'm glad he's doing all the things that he's doing 80% of the time. Whatever the batting average is, it's the best I've had out of any president in my lifetime. Okay? Great. Awesome. Thanks. Good. Now, how about the fucking treason charges? Why is Fauci not hanging from a fucking rope? Why has he not been convicted in a military tribunal for crimes against humanity, the biggest genocidal mass murderer in human fucking history? or at least among the top 10, somewhere on the Mount Rushmore. He certainly makes the fucking Hall of Fame. No. He's just waltzing around. Joe Biden, he got 81 million totally legitimate votes. La-di-da-di-da. Hey, maybe I'll give a speech somewhere and someone will pay me $600,000 for it. La-di-da-di-da. I'm just going to prance. Let me get Vince off the screen here. He doesn't belong here at this moment. I'm in the middle of a gigantic diatribe. You should check the Vince show out. It's pretty good. That motherfucker killed my brother. What Joe Biden did with Fauci, that motherfucker Fauci covered up what he did. It was the USAID money that went to EcoHealth Alliance that funded the Wuhan bioweapons facility. And don't call it a lab leak. It was probably, or at least a potentially intentional lab release to lock the world down, fuck up the economy, mail-in ballots, 10 million phantom extra votes. See James O'Keefe pointing out every single day, videos every day, here, there, everywhere. It's not just him. Everybody's finding it. Go to Skid Row. Yeah, somebody gave me $3 to sign a name. And they said, here, sign as this person and put this address. Go ahead. You can make a mark. You don't even need a signature. Make Mickey Mouse on the fucking thing. It doesn't matter. So Biden, the guy that didn't belong in office, gets to pardon Fauci, the fucking monster who killed my brother. And we're a year and a half into this Trump administration. We are burning daylight, not a single fucking indictment of consequence. Oh, no. They indicted Comey. Isn't it great? For a fucking 8647 seashell post? How about for fucking treason? Yeah, I am not wired for this night show. I'm starting to find out. I'm being a little too honest, and I'm yelling at you, so I can dial it back. Let me dial it back. I'm not encouraging any violence against anybody. I'm encouraging military tribunals or whatever mechanisms you need. Remember when the Rosenbergs were executed for treason? Actually, wasn't their crime stealing nuclear secrets to give to Israel? I don't recall exactly, but I did see that story a couple days ago and shared it. I think I'd have to refresh my memory on that one. When is the last time we've had a good treason trial? Ride the lightning, executions, hangings. When you overthrow the country, it's called treason. And there is no worse thing that you could do. Now, you could have a difference of opinion in our tax rate and, maybe we should be doing this and we should have these government programs. And it's all theft. It's all theft. I get it. It's all theft. Fine. All theft is wrong. Fine, libertarians. I get it. Everything's wrong. You're better than all of us. Thomas Massey, Tucker Carlson, a bunch of my buddies. Yes, you're fucking fantastic. You're perfect. You've never done anything wrong. All of your ideas are perfect. I'm an idiot because I'm trying to operate within the system, the operating system that's been built. What am I supposed to do? I can't use a computer because I didn't build the operating system. Well, my operating system would have been better. Well, my candidate would have built a fanciful thing. Really? Regale me with another tale of this magical world where your libertarian candidate would have fixed all the world's problems with non-interventionalism. Yes, you would have ended the Fed. Yo, tell me more about the things you've never accomplished, but you look down your nose at all of us for. So we try to work with Trump. We try to do this. And there are no indictments of consequence. Have you seen the movie Bad Boys? When Martin Lawrence starts getting fired up, he learned a technique. He's supposed to rub his earlobes and go, woosah, woosah. Kind of calm down. That was my only sibling. I did an hour 15, hour and a half. Basically did a wake for my pet Nimbus a week or two ago when he passed. How about your brother that you knew for double that time, 39 years? Didn't even live to his 40th birthday. Fauci and Biden. Oh, they banned monoclonal antibodies because it was working down in Florida. And they didn't want anybody to have any potentially therapeutic options. Why? They were shielded from liability. Big Pharma was, because there were no other therapeutic options available. So we're going to rush this bioweapon out. No. It was a totally safe thing. By the way, all of the things that I'm talking about regarding elections and regarding health and vaccines and COVID, read this. YouTube used to take you down if you didn't say this stuff. And even if I say it today, I might still be taken down. That's why I was demonetized. The career that I've been building for 15 fucking years, they took my money away. Couldn't monetize anything. How many people see my content? Millions of views, thousands of subscribers. I think 2,200 videos over 15 years. All hidden, shadow banned, deranked, deboosted, demonetized, depersoned on Facebook. Deleted company page on Facebook. YouTube took all of the stuff away. But I'm still fighting. But I got to read this. For countervailing views on the totally free and fair election where Joseph Biden got 81 million totally legitimate votes, I'm doing this under duress. If do you get it yet? Sorry, I haven't acted this out, or I haven't acted this out in a while. I was trying to dart my eyes, and I'm like, wait, if the person holding the gun is over here, why am I looking over here? I'm under duress. I'm reading a hostage video for countervailing views on the 2020 election that was never proven in a court of law to have been stolen. And for anything regarding the COVID-19 pangolin soup virus that had nothing to do with Wuhan or Fauci. Or the jab vaccine that was totally safe and totally effective with zero side effects. Please go to cdc.gov, who.int, or cisa.gov/rumor control to get your countervailing views, motherfuckers. Whoo! I have not vented like this in a while. This has turned into a therapy session for me, hasn't it? Well, this is what you get. Tell me what's the difference. Tell me what's the difference between your TNAM daily show and your TNAM nightly show. Oh, I just go off the rails. I'm drinking Spindrift soda water. We want to let him cook. And a lot of you were saying in the chat there, I have been reading the chat, but I've also just been trying to sort this stuff out. A lot of you are saying JFK was a great president. Some of you are saying, yeah, you'd be a fool to say Donald Trump isn't the best chance that we've had. So it's the best chance we have. He's not hitting below the Mendoza line like everybody else has been doing. Maybe it's the last best chance that we have to save this thing. Before we end up like Europe. Countervailing views, because they'll tell you 2020 was totally fair. Zero fraud. And they'll tell you coronavirus was naturally occurring. They're allowed to tell you lies. 2 + 2 = 5. You've read 1984. But if we point out the lies, we get silenced. And that's the way it is, folks. So, now, like I said, let me just reiterate. For those of you in Rio Linda, California, I'm holding here in my formerly nicotine-stained hands a clarification. Not once did I call for violence. What I called for was a military tribunal for treason. I got to work on my Rush Limbaugh. I haven't listened to him in a while. I felt myself slipping, that last impression, I sort of felt like, I was slipping into Obama. Kind of like Larry Sinclair did. in a bathhouse in Chicago. Allegedly. Don't listen to Joan Rivers. None of that. Look, none of that is, none of that is proven. So, I got a good thing going right here. Don't question me on that. So I got to work on my Rush Limbaugh impression. But no, I'm not advocating anybody go get anybody. I'm saying that our courts and our military tribunal systems need to indict, charge, find guilty the treasonous actors. Comey, Clapper, Brennan, Obama, Clinton, Biden, Mayorkas. You know the list. Fauci, go down that list. Give me the top 20. And then the next 20. Repeal the Smith-Mundt Act. That's a good one. I know, I miss Rush Limbaugh. Talent on loan from God. The Panda Army. Anyway, I want to let Trump cook. And I also I got to see some indictments. This whole trust the plan shit. Oh, no, trust me. It's coming tomorrow. It's the buddy that's going to get you back tomorrow. Hey, man, you borrowed $1,000. I didn't really have to loan you. I told you I can give this to you, but I must have it back by Friday because it goes from your hand to my left hand, to my right hand, to my mortgage. I need that. You can borrow for 6 days, but on the 7th, I need it. And I think that's what Rand Paul is saying. Rand Paul is basically saying, well, look, if these pardons that former Vice President Joe Biden handed out retroactive for crimes that weren't even charged yet 10 years ago worth, you're like, if that's the case, indict him on a state level. And if you can't get him on treason, you lock him up for life for something. Now, that is so different. That is so different from the lawfare that they used to get Trump because Trump was exposing their bullshit. Trump told you about the plans to overthrow Ukraine and start a war in Russia. All the bribery, the blackmail, the corruption, the Burisma, the Hunter Biden, the Victoria Nuland, deep state, all of it. Oh, you're going to do that to us? Then here's what our deep state's going to do. Impeached. A lot of people, look, no, excuse me. A lot of people say I did something wrong, but it was a perfectly good phone call. No, excuse me. There's no reason to be impeached. But they did it anyway because they're the deep state and they get away with whatever they want. But my name is Inigo Montoya and you killed my brother. Fauci, Biden, deep state. You got to face justice. And every day that we're waiting or trusting, no, there's a big plan. Dude, we're on 5.5 years of Trump. Nothing. I know there are plenty of wins, but my God, you got to get an RBI to win the baseball game. I know you're getting on base, but we got to cross home plate. Like, look, we're hitting way above the Mendoza line. We're hitting 800. Double what Lou Gehrig and Ted Williams could do. Great. But you haven't scored any runs yet. We got to score runs. And I know we're still scoring big wins. But God almighty, we got to get these treason charges already. So Leanne says the plan isn't the plan that we want. I mean, yes, exactly. Problem is Democrats don't follow the Constitution or the laws of the land. And look. I'm pragmatic enough. I'm reasonable enough to understand. You have to flush the rhinos out of the Republican Party. And look, it's been happening. Almost every Trump-endorsed candidate has swept out the dirtbag, fake Republican traitors. And yeah, you had some people that were pretty closely aligned, libertarian-ish. I liked a lot of what they had to say. Nancy Mace, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Thomas Massie. I liked a lot of the stuff that they were doing and saying. But on some key issues, especially Massie, like he just wouldn't. Nothing was ever perfect enough for Massie. Thomas Massie follows the New American Media on X. He must think we're doing something right. But damn, if it like, why couldn't you just enact the Massey rule? I can't vote for that budget. It's too much. Yeah, but we need your vote. Yeah, but I can't support that. I know, but it's either this or nothing, and we got to get a budget. Well, then it's nothing. Okay. How about the Massey rule? What's the Massey rule? I will sign on if you take 5%. Nope, 10%. You got to reduce whatever budget you're proposing. The Massey rule is I don't want to have anything to do with this. Also, we need a functional government. So you guys are trying to ram this through anyway. I don't want it. Let me claw back 10% and go, this is, I'm voting under duress. I hate everything about this. I was able to take it from 1 trillion to 900. I don't know. You get lost in billions and stuff. I took 10% off. There was just no give and take with some of these politicians. And the rhinos, you think any rhino is working with President Trump to do anything? So I get it. I know Tulsi Gabbard is frustrated. I know she's frustrated because she wasn't able to accomplish. I don't want to say she didn't accomplish anything. She just gave us that great report on Fauci. Yeah, but you're supposed to arrest him when you announce it. You arrest him along with the announcement. He was funding the Wuhan labs with USAID money. Where are the teeth? Where are the teeth on this stuff, Anyway. Thank you for letting me elaborate on some of that stuff. I don't answer to anybody. I don't have anything written out in front of me. I speak from my heart. All right, let's check out John Solomon. He says that CENTCOM has confirmed that a U.S. strike has killed a senior ISIS leader. I think I shared this on X. I'll bounce over there in a second. Hannity posted no tolls and no charges. Trump fires back at the fake news who are reporting on the Iran talks in the Strait of Hormuz. So, no tolls and no charges. Freedom 250 announced Instagram, the Washington Monument illumination returns to the National Mall July 1 through July 5. Each evening, an 18-minute projection mapping presentation will light the monument with the people, places, and moments that have shaped American history, ending with the monument glowing as a giant birthday candle. I've seen some of this lighting stuff that they've done. I've watched this on the Washington Monument before. I watched it, Hoover Dam. I believe it's the Hoover Dam, all lit up for the birthday party. Keep the lights up. It looks fantastic. Keep the lights up. It's amazing. I think it's so good. Elon Musk is no longer a trillionaire, at least as of 7 hours ago, as SpaceX shares drop. And of course, again, check out yesterday's show about Antifa getting hammered with sentencing on the ICE attack. And the show before that was about Fauci being under fire and will Thune ram through the Save America Act. What's this? Pilot Butte School posted this video showcasing during school, which included wrapping children in mutilation flags, reading books about becoming trans and other pride propaganda. Is this the best advertisement? Libs of TikTok put this up. Aren't they supposed to not be doing this in the schools? They're sort of addicted to it, though. Epoch Times says President Trump says 6 were arrested and 7 have been charged or cited over reflecting pool damage. President said the grass is being replaced and that some of the water will be drained either immediately before or after the 4th of July. Okay. So there's that. Let me go ahead and invite you to join us over here on Instagram. We need 25 new followers on Instagram so we can stream this show live. We put out dank memes. Here's the one. The Grim Reaper of the United States already took out hockey, and now we're trying to take down soccer. Why not us? Yeah, you need to follow this page. The New American Media on Instagram. All right, let's see what stories we have here. I know I shared a couple. Here's a good reminder. The people complaining about the cost of the reflecting pool were okay spending billions of dollars putting illegals into 5-star hotels with room service and unlimited Visa cards. Are you aware of that? Mark asks, so I'm the only one who thinks we must have the military to protect us from millions of bad actors? No. I mean, like, I agree. So do something. Do it already. Yes. What happened to the reflecting pool? I think President Trump said a 250 to 300 yard long 200 foot or 200 yard, I don't know, long gash. Somebody took a knife or a box cutter and sliced the lining. Trump is a builder. He's a renovator. He's a developer. He builds things. Most normal people build things. Jealous, greedy, thieves break things. Marxists break things. They don't build shit. They tear down statues. They rename roads. They destroy national monuments. They set fire to Kenosha, Wisconsin. They set fire to pick a city. Remember during the 2020 Summer of Love riots, they burned this country down, and they were egged on by the Democrats. Oh, and they dumped, fertilizer and algae into the pool so that it would multiply and embarrass Trump. We're dealing with mentally ill people. That's what happened to the reflecting pool. I like Ortho's idea. Fill it with piranhas. See, that's peaceful. That would be so peaceful. Hey, we posted a sign, don't jump in. There's piranha there. Dina says Trump and Elon are keeping us from going under the thumb of the globalists. I agree. And the end reminds us, yeah, now they put a fence around the reflecting pool. Remember when the Democrats stole America? Remember that? Remember how fun that was? And remember when January 6th happened? By the way, if you're not too familiar with the New American Media, we were there. January 6th, we got some of the most compelling footage. We were there watching it all unfold. As the stormtroopers came out, and the last of the mostly peaceful protest was pushed back. Tear gas and such. You should go check out that footage from a few years ago. Also check out, what is it called? Declassified? What did I call it? The unreleased J6? Hang on, how do I get to my channel? I'm here. How do I see my page? I can't see it. No, it wasn't called Declassified. YouTube Studio. View your channel. There we go. That's what I was. But why can't I see? I did a documentary is what I'm saying. It's not showing me what. That's so weird. It normally pops up right at the top. It's comma the unreleased J6 interviews. Maybe it is declassified. I forget what I called it. How do I forget what I called my own documentary? Anyway, you should watch it if you're not familiar with it. Yeah, remember when the Democrats put the fence up around? Yeah, reclassified. Me classified. No, I gotta find it. No, now it's bugging me. Here. Unreleased J6 interviews. I gotta find it now. Jamie, look this up for me. It is called declassified. It is called declassified. It didn't feel right. It's right there. Declassified, the unreleased J6 interviews, the New American Media. Oh, did they tamp that one down and make sure nobody was watching it? An outpouring of love and support for President Trump that day. We did a massive man on the street. And then we went to go film the protest, the mostly peaceful protest. Yeah, why doesn't the reflecting pool circulate? Can't you put a tube and a pump and have a pumping station on each end, or find a way to, come on, engineer it, figure it out. Just figure it out. Yeah, declassified, the unreleased J6 interviews. You should watch that if you've never seen it. But yeah, they put a big fence around because they thought they were going to get thrown out on their asses and thrown in jail after they stole the country. But no, they got away with it. And they're still getting away with stuff. I don't get it. But yeah, the people complaining about the cost of the reflecting pool said it was fine to spend billions putting illegals into 5-star hotels with never-ending credit cards. They never ran out of money on those cards. They were magic cards. I like this post. This one's really good. Here, let's bring some positivity back to chat, shall we? Let me big screen this. There we go. Remember, you inherited the greatest country in the world for a reason. You are alive at this point in history for a reason. This is a meme drop from the Pretty Patriot. America made it this far for a reason. The same God that put you right here, right now, bestowed you with gifts and challenges and a history that can be stewarded for the good, the beautiful, and the true. The left wants you to believe that your birthright is random and we're all interchangeable, so you feel no attachment to your country and no authority in her future. There's no such thing as an accident of birth. Your country is not a coincidence. God trusted you with incredible privilege and tremendous responsibility when he made you American. What are you doing with it? Oh, that was a great palate cleanser. That was like a nice piece of ginger after a particularly odd bite of sushi. Or any bite of sushi, but like that was a nice palate cleanser. That pumped me back up and recalibrated a little bit. Are we in the Great Deception, Liberty Tango? Pfft. I mean, we better pray for discernment. Because this is what's trying to overthrow our country, people. What's this lady's name? This is today's Democrat Party. I'm looking at this person's name. Look, hang on. Try to read this. Full screen. It looks like a Scrabble board fell over, and none of these are words. Oh, that's fun. A defund police mask, you dork. Yeah, no police. No police. We should just let bad guys do bad shit all day. I mean, these are the dumbest, most dangerous people on earth. Oh, yeah? What do you mean by these people? I mean, dopey idiots that wear anything that says defund police. I don't want any police abuse. I'm with you on that. That doesn't mean there's no police. I might get pissed off at an umpire in a baseball game. I might get mad at a referee in a football game. What, we just don't have refs now? No umpires calling balls and strikes, just anything goes. There are no rules. That's what the Marxists want, because all they can do is destroy. That's all they do. That's good, Dina. A big bite of lime sherbet, like a palate cleanser. That sounds fantastic. Sherbet is so underrated. Hey, it's Alberta Arnold checking in. He's number 6. Where are you? Oh, you're going to be on the next one. We're still working. This is a work in progress. John is putting it together. But yeah, you're going to be number 6, right, Arnold? Alberta Arnold. You're saying this is a much better time slot? Hey, look. You know, I hope it's a much better time slot. Invite all your friends. Help us grow the show. Thanks for being here. Oh, huge earthquake in Venezuela. I didn't hear about that. That'll be on the show tomorrow. It's not trending. So let's do Venezuela earthquake. The Maqueta Airport. Let's take a look. This doesn't look good already. Prayers to the people involved.
Yeah. Ya, por afuera que tenemos. No sale de allá.
Tell me in chat. If you're there, where do you go? Go right now. Tell me in chat. Type it real quick. If you're there and that starts happening and you saw that video, where do you go? What do you do? Let's learn something today. This is what you're looking for. Where do you go? Where do you do? Now the lights go. Where do you go? What do you do? Look at this guy. I think he's just hugging this beam. That's actually not the worst idea. They say being right next to a post, right next to a beam. Well, that's like in a stampede. You're supposed to do that for sure. If you're ever out in the middle of a melee or there's an attack or something and everybody's trampling everyone to get the other direction, you find a street lamp or a street post or something. Find a big concrete planter bed and just go on the other side of it and just don't get trampled to death. Yeah, next to a column. Liberty Tango. Get out. See, but getting outside is not the thing. I was in Culver City, California at a bar. God, who was I there with? Very tall building. And the pendant lights started doing this. And the ground was going. I'm like, oh, shit. Okay. Because anything in California could be the big one. And I went outside. But when you go outside, you got power lines, you got telephone poles, you got breaking, shattering glass. There's all sorts of stuff outside that you might not want to deal with. But yeah, columns are kind of good. Okay, so this is just breaking. All right, so we're covering this now. We'll cover more tomorrow. Yeah, anytime something's breaking or if there's a big story you want me to cover. By the way, let me ask you 2 questions. Can you raise your hand? Raise your hand if you're sure. Remember that commercial? Sure, antiperspirant. Are you following the New American Media on X? Have you subscribed to our podcast? The podcast is currently titled The Agree to Disagree Show. Are you linked with us on X and linked with us on our podcast? But if you ever have a story you want us to share it to us, tag us, put it on X and tag it at American_media_, and I'll get a notification. I'm sorry, what? Rough estimates postulating death tolls between 5 grand to tens of thousands. No. I get it. Your chances are better out. The other thing they talked about was the fascia and the stonework and the bricks. As that all starts rocking, all of that could come down. The entire facades of buildings can come down. As you're going outside to escape, the facades can be coming down at you at the exact same moment. I mean, but look, everybody has a different strategy. Watch this video. They're all doing different stuff. But I noticed this guy hugging the column here. I feel like that's sort of what I would be doing.
Yeah.
And then, to get under something extremely sturdy, some, World War II era metal desk or something that can withstand blunt force trauma of a pillar falling on it or being piled with cinder blocks or something. Wow. And this plume of smoke. What do you do if you're in here? Go the other direction. Now you can't breathe. The lights, it looks like the emergency generator kicked back on. All right, 24 seconds. Because the power goes out right there. At 4. Those lights are out. Up here, the lights are out. By the way, if you're on Facebook, follow the New American Media page. Can you all do that? I have a private group called TNAM Preparedness. TNAM Preparedness. I hate these tragedies, but I do like to learn what's the best thing we can do.
Yeah.
Now the smoke, now the dust. Now it's hard to breathe.
Wow.
At least the lights came in.
Ya, afuera que tenemos. No sale de allá. Hermano, no, fuera más peligroso.
Now you can't see shit. Who are you there with? Where are your kids? Where's your spouse? Where's your sibling? Where's your friend? Where are the entrances, the exits? Where are you? Quick, close your eyes. Where is everything? Man.
Hermano, por allá, señores, al puerta 4, por allá.
4-4. That's over here. Oh, man. All these buildings are sideways. And people are going to be wondering if the United States did this after they took out Maduro. But why? Why would we do that? Oh, my God. Dear Lord, be with you. Oh. It's not.
Se cayeron edificios, Miren cómo está eso. Se acaban de caer edificios. Todavía está temblando edificios. Se cayeron edificios.
I see, Mark, you're saying you're only on YouTube and Telegram. Go to TNAM and TNAM chat. We're on TNAM and TNAM chat. Over there, please. Dina doesn't do Facebook. I know a lot of people. Arnold doesn't do X or Facebook or any other spyware site to spell your information. I hear you. I used to be that way. But you could at least sign up for the podcast, right? Podcasts are okay. Just go to the podcast place and do the Agree to Disagree show and subscribe to that. That's one way to do it.
Miren cómo está eso. Se acaban de caer edificios. Todavía está temblando.
Oh, wait. California had a 5.6 today? Japan had a 6.9? Venezuela had a 7.1 and a 7.5? Oh, shit. Oh, the aliens are coming. Great. That's on the table, too. A Venezuelan records himself running up the stairs of his building while the two earthquakes that struck Venezuela were occurring. You can see how the stairs are cracked. Oh, God.
Mierda, weón. Qué loquera, weón. Mierda, weón. Qué locura esta mierda, weón. Acabó con el edificio.
Oh, man.
Mierda, weón. Yo acabo de subir del ascensor. Acabo de entrar.
Oh, boy. Ortho saying Venezuelans were happy for Maduro's abduction. Well, Maduro himself might be happy he wasn't there for this at that point. Dina saying, I would never let go of somebody's hand if that was happening. Yeah, like the end of Titanic. Did Russia get hit as well? Is that what you're... No, this is massive. How exactly when did this happen? Oh, okay, we're seeing 2 hours ago. Hotels Edwards building in LaGuardia completely collapsed after this. Does that show this?
Mierda, marico.
Was that the hotel? Did it have signage? DS, RDS. Oh, is this Hotel Edwards right here? WARDS. Oh, okay, that's what they're looking at. This whole thing collapsed? Hotel Edwards? Oh, fuck.
Mierda, marico.
If aliens were coming, would this be part of it? Did Russia get hit? Can someone tell me that? Yeah, we got to do some looking around here. Dina says, it's outdoors for me. I'm getting outside, never in a building. Where's it at? It looks like it's everywhere, is sort of what's going on. Where's the podcast? It's on wherever you get podcasts. I don't know. Where does it go? It goes to Spotify and Apple. I don't know. I put it more places, except I don't know how to. If there's other places to put them, I'll put them there too. Oh, this whole thing looks sad. Liberty Tango, the Bofang radio. How do you pronounce Bofang? I'm saying Bofang. Am I close? Yeah, you got to have the CB radios. Arnold, yep, there's lots of action going on just before Independence Day. It's an omen for things to start erupting at the New Madrid fault line. Oh, shit. Where's the... Let me ask Grok. Now that you bring up the New Madrid. Show me a map of where the New Madrid fault line runs. Through Ohio, through Kentucky, through Missouri. It's all through the Midwest. Well, I guess it's on the outer edge. It's not technical. I think there's like a greater New Madrid seismic zone. I think there's like some offshoots here. There we go. So you got what? Alabama. You don't want to label all the states. I got to try to do this off memory. I did say Missouri, Indiana, Illinois, Kentucky, Tennessee. Okay, let's keep going. Michael Bradbury says the ground won't stop moving. First California, then Venezuela, now Japan. Within hours, another powerful earthquake is struck, this time a magnitude 6.9 off of the northeastern Japan coast. 3 notable earthquakes, 3 different tectonic regions. Tell me in chat, real quick. Stop what you're doing. Tell me in chat. Natural earthquakes, some sort of weapons, some sort of terrestrial weapons, something cosmic or extraterrestrial intentional. So, natural, man-made weapon, ET. What do you think is happening? Is it just regular stuff? They're saying it's 3 tectonic regions. Bofang. That's what I said, right? Bofang? Or Baofeng. Or did I say Baofeng? Bofang? I think I said Baofeng. Like that one. That's a good point. How many people actually have their camping supplies, tent, air mattress, dried food, portable wood stove, like the firebox in their bug out kit? So it's 3 different tectonic regions. By the way, I am selling bug out bag kits. I had a soft launch for build your own bug out bag, BYOBOB. And I'm going to be selling them over on Whatnot. Maybe on eBay too. Now that I've figured out like the large flat rate box, I can put the potassium iodide tablets, survival books just for reference guides, flashlights, multi-tool. I've got a couple of things. The game plan is just figuring out how to sell them the best way. But yes, I am going to. If I didn't do a night show tonight, I would have been on Whatnot selling bug out bag kits. This might be a great time to do this tomorrow then. Okay, Mark says maybe it's HARP. That would be human made. U.S. Geological Services? U.S. Geological Study Survey Services? Services? Has the live feed. Rob's guess is that it's a man-made weapon. HARP or NASA Bluebeam projects. Yeah, Project Bluebeam. Dina says, it's solar flares. It's the sun. In the alignment of certain planets. Yeah, something I have in my stack. You're talking about Antarctica. Let me pull this up real quick. God, we got so much going on now. I'm happy to do this live. It sure beats when shit. When's the last time this happened? Maybe it was Charlie Kirk was almost a year ago, guys. His assassination. And then that just took over the whole end of the show, and we just went off on a whole different route. That was a rough day. Michael says, with these earthquakes, while these earthquakes are not considered evidence that one triggered the others, seeing multiple significant events unfold in a single day is something that naturally gets people's attention. Now, all eyes are on the Pacific as aftershocks remain possible and seismic activity continues to be closely monitored. Off the coast of Noda, Japan, 6.9. Yay. That looks like the guy that was hugging the pole. Is that the same place? The airport?
Observen cómo quedó el aeropuerto Maiquetía estando nosotros acá adentro, miren.
Oh,
Desastre que hay.
shit.
Acabado totalmente.
Oh, my God.
Observen después el terremoto.
Any one of these bricks falling from that high, hitting you on the head, you could easily lose your life there. Arnold says, a research station in Antarctica where there's frequency generators that can induce vibrations into the Earth's mantle. Yeah. Did you know that musician that died was doing an Antarctic documentary? Did you know that?
Observen cómo quedó todo. Señores, grave la situación que estamos viviendo acá. Terremoto de alta magnitud. Miren cómo quedó todo. Pueden observar, yo grabé destrozado. Es un desastre. Este es Maiquetía. En las ascensores donde están. Observen. Aquí estamos todos. Vamos a transmitir desde este momento.
Fishermen in the sea off the coast of La Guaira. La Guaira? How do I pronounce that? La Guaira? La Guaira? La Guaira? Record the moments after the earthquake with dust covering large parts of the coast as a result of building collapses.
Mierda, mira allá, mamagüevo. Mamagüevo, Macuto, mierda, mira allá en Caribe. Acaba de temblar ahorita, señores. 10 San Juan. Marico. Mierda, mierda, mira allá, mamagüevo.
Those waters have got to be choppy. You better be careful if you're out on the water. You better watch for tsunami.
Mierda, allá en Maiquetía. Vámonos, vámonos. No, vámonos.
Let's go,
Vámonos, marico, vámonos. La familia de nosotros, weón. Mira esa vaina. Dios mío. Mierda. Macuto. La Guaira.
Oh, they're playing baseball when this happens? I don't know if I can play this without getting a copyright. They're so weird about sports, but this is news.
En lo que refiere a la LVP.
Oh, there it goes. It's starting.
Y llegaron en condiciones, bueno, idóneas. Mantuvieron condiciones idóneas.
The whole kit. Look at everything shaking. Yeah, go out in the middle of the field. That's probably the safest spot, right? I would guess. Sorry, I've been on mute. I'm bouncing back and forth. Look at that. Yeah, where would you go? What would you do if you were out at a baseball game? You're up in the stands? Jeez. They're like, we're going to a commercial break. Thank you very much. Good grief.
Miren cómo está eso. Se acaban de caer edificios. Todavía está temblando edificios. Se cayeron edificios. Miren cómo está eso. Se acaban de caer edificios.
Just scrolling.
Amareli, se está cayendo esta mierda.
Rápido, rápido, hide the yayo. That's a funny comment.
Mierda.
Mierda, shit. Get your TV, set it down on the ground.
45 segundos. Se rompieron las cosas, Amareli. Mierda. Mierda.
Shit. Liberty Tango says they'll get billions in aid from the U.S. and victims of Helene get a bottle of water. If you've never seen, we have some new viewers that are hanging out. If you've never seen our documentary, Hurricane Helene, Help on the Way. We took many vehicles full to the brim. That's sort of where Build Your Own Bug Out Bag began. We built bug out bags to take and give to various big rig tractor trailer truckers. Behind this one big gas station, there were probably, I don't know, 10, 20, 30 different semi-trucks lined up, and everybody was going here, and then they were filling up their trucks. They're like, all right, you have water, we need more water down here. They don't need any here. Oh, you have food, put the food there. You have supply, cleaning supply. All right, put those there. And then we're going to take this over there. Then they're going to split it up. Like, nobody was helping. Nobody's going to help us. Nobody's going to help you. You just think like, oh yeah, everything will be fine. Someone will come help. It's like, what if they don't? It's a dark thing to think about, but it is unfortunately possible. All right. Yeah, this is rough.
A magnitude 7.1, reports of heavy damage coming in, and we have just learned of a major quake off northern Japan as well. Here's ABC's Melissa Adon with the images coming in tonight.
How often do we remember massive quakes in different places? I know there's aftershocks and some, but like if these are this big, I don't remember them being this big, this close together.
Tonight, late-breaking word of back-to-back major earthquakes jolting the Venezuelan capital of Caracas. The first one measuring 7.2, the second 7.5.
An earthquake just shook the entire building minutes ago. It's the heaviest quake I have felt in Venezuela.
Authorities reporting multiple people injured. Emergency crews descending on this mountain of rubble to search for survivors. The airport now closed and all flights suspended after suffering serious damage. And tonight, halfway around the world in Japan, yet another quake, this one measuring 6.9 off the northern coast in an area where there have been recent strong quakes. Officials say there is no danger of a tsunami. David, back to that earthquake in Venezuela tonight. Tsunami warnings are up along the coast for southern Caribbean islands. David?
All right, Melissa Adon on the breaking news tonight. Melissa, thanks so much.
This one shows structures collapsing all around Caracas. Man. we're gonna. Okay, we got the times. Japan 3:30. Oh, these are Pacific times. So 6:30, Japan. 6:05, Venezuela. 6:04, Venezuela. Oh, California was 8 a.m., which is 11 a.m. Okay. Oh, this guy. A man was caught on camera abandoning a building affected by the strong earthquake recorded in Venezuela. Amid the emergency, he emerged doing this, one in each arm. That dog in each arm. Will help the guy because there's so much broken glass and nails, and like you can't just be running around out there. If you grab one dog, he can grab the other, but you might get bit. Good job on that guy. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, thanks for telling me. I feel like I've just been down the rabbit hole of this earthquake. I got more stories. This is exhausting because now I'm thinking about bug out bags. I'm thinking about preparedness. It'll rewire your brain a little bit, won't it? Yeah, there's bug out bags and bug in bags. Liquefaction. Hey, remember when I told you about being in Taos, New Mexico? That was when Fukushima happened. I was in Taos, New Mexico when Fukushima happened. And my ex-wife was in Los Angeles. And I had shitty cell phone coverage out there in the mountains of the Sangre de Cristo, at the foothills of the Sangre de Cristos Mountains, where the longest continuous, what do they call it? The longest continuously inhabited civilization in America exists. The indigenous, the Indian, the Native American tribes up there in the Sangre de Cristos Mountains in the foothills. I saw a UFO out there, something I couldn't identify, that was the fastest, most interesting thing I've ever seen. I was in Taos, New Mexico when I invented the new American media. I'd interviewed David Wilcock and Mike Huckabee, like all within this brief amount of time. I'm like, I need to put this stuff somewhere. This isn't like, where am I going to put this stuff? God, this is such an interesting nexus of time. And rest in peace, David Wilcock, right? So I interviewed David Wilcock. I interviewed Mike Huckabee. I go to Taos, New Mexico. I see a UFO. Blood of Christ Mountains. That's what Sangre de Cristos Mountains is. And I had the epiphany, I'm going to start the new American media. But I remember calling my wife at the time and finding cell phone reception was not easy. And I was just like, oh God, get inland. This is bad. I do not want you, like, if there's a big ass tsunami coming, I don't know how big this thing could get. But I was on the other side, like I was 15 hours by car away. Like I couldn't do anything. And I was just, please be careful. Don't go to the beach. Avoid that area. Man, I remember the panic of that. Dina's getting ads. Yeah, YouTube changed their algorithm. Something, the whole dashboard changed today. So they're doing something different now. And every time the ads show up, that's like a penny in the wishing well. Over here. But yeah, I'll have to figure out the best way for that. See, I got to dig into the new YouTube settings. They changed everything today. Arnold, unless you're on solid rock like the Canadian Shield, the S&P waves can reach your home's foundation. And you can watch your house sink down and shift in an unstable stance. Ugh. My home insurance up $100 a year? Yeah. I've just been told my property taxes have essentially doubled because they deem that my property is worth more now. Great. Cool. Cool story. What about that cool story you're telling means I have extra money to be paying you double my property taxes? Why do we have property taxes to begin with? Once again, the Marxists want to say, oh, you decide to get a piece of property? Well, you have more than I have. Let's take it. Awesome. Well, never leave your cave without your bug out bag. Oh my gosh. My head is all wrapped up in preparedness now. These are all like stories I can get to tomorrow. I think that breaking news is mainly what I wanted to cover today. Let me ask you, chat, in 1 to 10, what level of preparedness are you at? Hey, Rob, thanks for joining. Thanks for doing the evening show. This is great. Look, it's a nighttime hang. We're scrolling through the news together, you know? I mean, we could have really tight, really fast shows with 30, 60-second segments, or, you know, we roll with it. Preparedness is priority. But 1 to 10. 10 being as prepared as you think you could possibly be. Rob's a 10. Rob, where are you located? I forget. Liberty Tango in extreme Northeast Georgia. I figured you would be at a 12. Or in Spinal Tap, mine go to 11. Rob Reiner's like, yeah, or you could just make 10 louder and then you could go to 10. Let's go to 11. Orthos at a 12? Man, I'll be selling no bug out bags to you. All right, you're Austin, Texas. Gotcha. Is that where Terry Black's is? Terry Black's Barbecue? I was just talking about that. I think that's Austin, right? I really used to like Lambert's in Austin, but it wasn't as good the second time I went. They sort of messed it up. Yeah, you guys are a 12 out of 10? All right. Well, I did 2 hours at noon. I did 2 hours today. We're hanging out. We're talking. Thanks for letting me vent. That whole Fauci thing just gets under my skin. You know, the whole killing my mother and brother part. It's sort of, you know, it's a weight that it's in the air. It's like the stink cloud of, what is it, Pigpen or Linus? Pigpen, right? On Peanuts. You know, I've lost power at this place 5-10 times in the last year or two. I mean, it's stupid. Major tree limb issues, all the power lines. Actually, my neighbor just came by tonight while I was setting up for the show. And he's like, hey, and this dude has property everywhere. And he's like, I was talking to the electric company and they're going to be burying the power lines over here. And I got you a flyer and you can call in, and, you know, they're not doing anything new till 27 next year, or 28. It's on the docket for 27. You can get on for 20. I'm like, oh yeah. My neighbors and I were dealing with the electric company. It is a mess. And that'll wake you up quick. Do you have a marine pump, a battery backup pump for your sump pump? If a rainstorm with wind knocks down something, cuts your power, well, all those drain tiles. If your sump pump floods and there's no power, you can't pump it out and it's going to flood your basement. So you got to have an emergency battery backup. What about a generator or 2 or 3? One's electric, one's gas, one's solar. It's just you go down the list and it's like, man, no matter how prepared you are or how much you prepare, you can always do more. So yeah, you guys, if you're at a 12, you could go to 13. I know, Liberty Tango, I'm a weirdo too. I also get excited when the power goes out. I'm like, all right, crack all the knuckles. I go, well, here we go. I guess that means I get to fire up the generator. I guess that means I got to talk to my neighbors. I guess that means this is me springing into action. I know, we're hardwired for this stuff because we're firefighters, you know? We run into the problem. We want to try to help. That's why we went to... Yeah, if you're new to the New American Media, we've been to Republican, Libertarian, and Democrat conventions. We've had interviews with that. What you see for the intro and outro, it's just a glimpse of what we've done. But we went out to the Bundy Ranch about an hour outside of Vegas when the Second American Civil War almost kicked off. God, that was... You can go back and find that footage. We interviewed people in the Bundy family, Pete Santilli. Who's that guy from InfoWars with the beard? That guy. What's that guy? I'm thinking David Frost. That's not his name. Cross. I don't know. Hurricane Helene. We went down there to, I mean, there was a non-zero chance we were going to get in a helicopter. And the stories that we were getting is that there were so many rotting corpses that were up in trees and on buildings and nobody was helping them and no refrigeration and the heat. And it was just we were getting ready to go into a war zone. Not too dissimilar from going to January 6th. Like, we've been feet on the ground, boots on the ground all across this country over the past 15 years. All sorts of places we've been. You know, because if you're not documenting the story of what's actually happening, who is? You're just going to get some narrative that somebody told you to because somebody wrote a book. You know, Arnold just got a manual hand pump like those on the old farms. It's a pretty good idea. A Bic lighter is worth more than 1,000 generators without fuel. Very true. And a flint steel, that's like a quadrillion Bic lighters. Leanne, I've enjoyed this, Brian. Well, thank you. I'm glad you did. Missed a good show. Brian had a rant. Very good. Was my rant okay? Did I go too far? Was the swearing something you could do without, or just let it rip, dude? Tell me in chat. And I care. I also don't care. But I care enough out of curiosity. But I really do try to be on my best behavior. I got to guest host for Strictly Speaking Unfiltered with Bob France. He was doing radio in Houston and he was doing a big event in Columbus. So like, I got to do that. And I tried so hard. I felt like Glenn Beck. I kept saying like, I go, those freaking people. And I'd take like a fake piece of chalk and I'd make a mark on the wall. Like I was Andy Dufresne in a prison cell, counting down the days. Like, how long have I been in here or something? And I'm like, every time I feel like Glenn Beck at his chalkboard. I'm doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Doing like the, 1, 2, 3, 4 diagonal slashes. I tried so hard to edit my sailor talk. Because when I do my show, I'll let it rip sometimes and I'll hold it back sometimes. you know, I'm going to stay honest. I'm going to stay true to me and who I am. Oh, David, did you just join? Is that what's going on? Oh, you were saying you missed a good rant from Brian. Okay, yeah, all right. Yeah, hi, David. David up in Canada. We were talking about all those earthquakes. Ortho. Another great show, Brian. Keep it up. Well, thank you. Couple things I have to attend to, like the most important things. Yeah. Your power goes out, you keep trying to turn on the light switch. No, it's great practice to figure out where your holes are. No jokes. It's like, how quickly can you access the things that you have? Where is this? Oh, I thought I had that. Where's hold on, I got to get to, and you go, I got to reorganize some stuff. And it's a good test. Fuel won't be a problem. One of my sons drives a fuel transport truck. There's that Simpsons where someone mentions an alcohol-fueled car, and Homer goes, alcohol-fueled car. He's at the pump with his car. He takes off the gas pump or the gas nozzle and hose, and he puts it in the car. He goes, squeezes the trigger and goes, ding, to $1. He goes, one for you. And he goes, ding, one for me. One for you, ding, one for me. Alcohol fueled car. So that'd be you with your son siphoning a little bit off of the fuel transport truck. Yeah, I think I remember you saying that, Dino. You lost power up there in Michigan, right? Dina says, you're fine. You're authentic. Ortho's like, nah, dude, it was great. Rob's like, no, it was a great show, totally. Liberty Tango, great show. Be yourself, bro. Rock on. Ooh, my soul, I want to be down with your rock and roll and drift away. Hey, yeah. Give me the beat, boys, and free my soul. I want to get. It was a great show, Brian and the Pandas. Thank you. Thank you, Dina. Arnold, a simple DIY battery can be made with canning jars, copper, zinc, pure water. You remember building one in grade school science class. Yeah. You're MacGyver. You're coming over. You're going to show all of us. A Honda 2200 or a tri-fuel generator can only last as long as you have fuel. Yeah. But it can save your food from thawing. Exactly. My generator was tucked away in a spot that was just bleh. Not fantastic. Neighbor, extension cords, done. Neighbor and extension cords. Got the job done. Ran them right in here. Kept the food from spoiling. It was huge. And the not submarine, the Mariner, what's it called? Like a Mariner battery backup. I think it's called a Mariner battery backup. It's like one of those with the big, the handle on it. And the thing weighs about 50 pounds. I don't know how much it weighs. It's heavy. Well, great. Now we're all thinking about prepping. And this is great because if I weren't doing this show, I would have been selling bug out bags on, what's it called? Whatnot. I mean, it's taken me months to figure out how to get the shipping right on the large flat rate box, $9.21. So I can fit a backpack in there, potassium iodide tablets for nuclear radiation to protect your thyroid. And I've got a litany of toys to put in there. So build your own bug out bag was kind of going to be like, hey, pick one item from this category, 2 items from here, and 3 items from here. Go. And everybody could customize it. I like something about the Rubik's Cube of making that work I kind of haven't figured it out, so I've just kind of narrowed it down to like, look, do you want this preparedness book or this one? This one's more about urban. This one's more about camping and foraging and wilderness. Which survival book do you want? A or B? Which flashlight do you want? Do you want the headlamp or do you want the handheld? Do you want the crank? Do you want the battery? Which one? Okay. Do you want this backpack or that backpack? Okay. And then just set the price and do it there. I think I was trying to get like $100 bag. You know, the point about bug out bags too, like you can't buy a perfect bag. There's no such thing. No. There's no such thing. I don't know what medications you and your family need. Pet food? Shit. Do you have a USB drive with all your pertinent information on it? Something you can grab and take with you? Oh, you're going to want that if you never go home again. You know, the point of the bug out bag is to go, all right, now I got this thing. Geez, I got a lot of work. If I got to grab one thing and go, what do I need? Ortho, because a country boy can survive. Now 2 flags fly above my land that really sum up how I feel. One's got the colors that fly high and proud, the red, the white, the blue. The other one's got a rattlesnake with a simple statement made. And don't tread on me is what it says, and I'll take that to my grave. And I said, that's just me. I'm proud to be American and strong in my beliefs. 'Cause I said it before and I say it again. 'Cause I've never needed government to hold my hand. Said it before and I've said it again. 'Cause my family's always fought and died to save this land. And a country boy is all I'll ever be. Bling, 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 bling. That's what happened. He just quoted the song Country Boy. A country boy can't survive. If you don't know that song, look that up. I always try to give you homework. Look up the New American Media's Earthship videos. Look up the New American Media's J6 videos. Look up the New American Media's documentary, Hurricane Helene, Help on the Way. Look up the New American Media's documentary, Declassified, the Unreleased J6 Files. Look up Aaron Lewis, Aaron Lewis from Stained has a country album. The song's called Country Boy. I just sang you a little piece. A country boy can survive. That would actually be that'd be a good song to karaoke. I've probably sang it in the car before. I've never really sang it a cappella, and I'm like, do I want to go high? Do I want to go low? Liberty Tango can skin a buck and run a trout line, hit a gnat in the ass. Ooh, that's a good. I feel like that could be an Aaron Lewis song. I can hit a gnat in the ass at 500 yards. Open iron sights through a heavy fog. Yeah, Liberty Tango. We want to be on your good side, I think. Mark saying, I'm in a sketchy part of town. Lights would make me a target. Yeah. Dude, I lived in Los Angeles for 15 years. In the hood. God, if that wasn't just sleeping on edge every night. And it was, I wasn't terrified shivering in the corner. I was the sheriff of the town. You know, I didn't want to get into any extra confrontational activity than I needed. But oh my God, did I get into a ton. Because when you got dipshits around you causing problems, when homes are being broken into, when women are being beaten within an inch of their life on the week of Christmas, and what the senior lead officer told me was one of the most horrific things he's ever encountered. The laundry room in the building right next to me is where that happened. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was out, I was about, and I was involved. But man, it's an uneasy feeling. The best way you can prep is get a better area code. Someone told me that once. It's probably not a unique thought, but the only thing in life money's ever really going to buy you is a better area code, a safer neighborhood to go to sleep in. And that might be the most important thing in life. So yeah, I'll take this moment to just thank the dear Lord Almighty I was able to escape Los Angeles. Escape from LA, like what was that, Kurt Russell, I think? Whew. Anyway, folks, thank you for being here. I don't know what this show was. I feel like I barely got to any stories. I did some. I ran through some news. Okay, final question for chat. In one sentence, what was this show? Describe this hangout, this program. How would you describe this program tonight? One sentence. If you're trying to describe to someone tomorrow. I mean, that whole breaking news really that sort of steered the ship today. That's for damn sure. It steered the ship. But yeah, how would you describe whatever the heck this show was? I definitely had different plans. I have way more stories to get to on Instagram. I'll get to more of this stuff tomorrow. Noon. Eastern time. I got a ton of stories. But you know what's going to happen tomorrow? Hopefully, fingers crossed, amazing Supreme Court rulings in favor of the good guys. Bug and outie. Whoa, Dina got shot at on Christmas Eve after church. I like oak trees. Oh my God. Who did the shooting? Ortho, to describe the show. Today was the start to a good thing. Heck yeah, I like that. That's a great way to say that. That's cool. Rob says, this is a good evening summary of the day's events. Yeah, it's so hard to keep up. There's so much happening. But it's cool. You know, like I'd rather, I often say, like, hanging out and doing these shows, it's my favorite time of the day. Because I am the bartender. I'm Brian the bartender. I've been the bartender at, I told you about the Oscars, sports bars, weddings. God, what are some of the craziest places I've been? Gene Autry's mansion. Who bought it? That music mogul bought it. It used to be owned by the owner of YouTube. No, of Yahoo. And they bought the neighbor's place and knocked it down. Who was the producer of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? Anyway, I digress. I've bartended a million places. Liberty Tango says, describing the show, it was enjoyable. Topics were important and everyone was involved, and it was a good show. Yeah, you know, I love having guests. I know a lot of shows that'll be like, all right, let me run through the news, and now for an hour we're gonna hang out with the guest, and that's cool. That's cool. I'm down to do that too. I just you know, time and a place. I don't know. You know, in this program, you all are like the guest. It's sort of like I'm bartending and I'm holding court and I'm looking back here going, oh shit, did you see? Or I'm talking about something else. Who was it in here that told me about the earthquake? Was that Mark? I forget who actually said about the earthquake, but because I instantly jumped over to it. But yeah, if I'm over here yapping about something else, someone's like, there's earthquake stories over here. I'm like, what? Let's turn the channel. Let's turn the volume up. And now we're talking in real time. I'm the bartender. You're hanging out at my bar. That's basically how this works. So yeah, topics were important. Everyone was involved. Good show. Rob says we got to do this more often, if possible, in the evenings. People are suffering now for sure. No shit. Well, let's drop a prayer on our way out the door here. Dear Lord, Heavenly Father, man, that was brutal across the globe today. Can you please give love and strength and comfort and peace and resilience, intestinal fortitude to the people all across this planet who are dealing with this just brutal series of earthquakes as they try to stay safe amidst the threat of aftershocks. And I want you to keep the angels close to me, President Trump and his team, all the great regulars in the bar today, and all the great regulars out there that tune into the New American Media and have for the past 15 years kept us a thing. But send as many spare angels as you can to the people most in need down there in Venezuela and wherever else people are suffering from this. In your name we pray. Amen. Yeah, there's a lot of suffering right now, Dina. More evenings. It's just, I know that I'm going to be doing stuff in the evenings. That's the problem. I know that I'll be performing stand-up comedy. I know that I'll be out at live music. I know that I'll be with people doing stuff. Like, I will not be available at the same time every evening, which is why I don't want to. That's sort of been the holdup. You know, I don't want to bite off more than I can chew. I don't want to limit my other opportunities and obligations. But when I'm available, I like doing this stuff in the evening. It is a whole different energy. I don't recall exactly what set me off on Fauci today, but yeah, I like evenings. I could do evenings. I like this stuff. Liberty Tango, you'll go viral, Brian. Keep on trucking. Yeah, I'm all right with that. Great critique, Brian. We want more. I'll try to do more. I will. Ortho wants to be the first guest call-in. Well, yeah, we all conversed. I'm the bartender, and you are the customers. But my shift is wrapping up. I got to go clock out. I'm going to slide the tab over to you here at this fine establishment. If you look at the tab, you owe nothing. However, there is a tip line at the bottom. If any of you would like to toss a silver coin or something into my tip jar back here, it's one of those metal tins. Rumble rant tip, super chat tip, signing up to become a monthly subscriber on Patreon at the New American Media, Rumble at the New American Media, YouTube, the New American Media. It all matters. And if you don't want to link up with anything, Venmo and Cash App, it's my name, BrianEngelman. It's what we do to keep the lights on. And also PayPal, fuzzinstallment@yahoo.com. I will get Rumble Wallet set up soon. So there's that as well. Yes, thank you, Father. Thank you, Lord Jesus. Exactly. Amen. Amen. Thank you. Amen. Thank you, Heavenly Father. Amen. Look. Now, look. Before we go, Liberty Tango over there, he's in the, what do they call it? Michelle, what did they call it the other day? He said it's the extreme northeast of Georgia. Look, over there in the northeast Georgia, a lot of folks, they're clinging to their God and their guns. But what I like to say, as a classically trained Marxist, look, you didn't build that. You didn't build that. So look, if you're going to cling to your God and your guns, or your Bible, your beans, your bullets, your gold, your God and your guns, look, maybe this is that white supremacy that's just, it's a scourge of the earth. It's probably the biggest threat here in America. Thankfully, we're just 5 days away from fundamentally transforming the United States of America in a Marxist hellscape. So, Liberty Tango says prayers, Bible, beans and bullets, and I say bullshit. We need more Marx and less Musk. That's pretty good. Hey, somebody write that down. We need more Marx, as in Karl Marx, and we need less Musk, like Elon Musk. So, think about that. Got your Bible, beans, and bullets. I got, more, we need more Marx, less Musk. It's kind of tricky to say, especially while doing an impression. I try not to do tongue twisters in somebody else's voice. Oh, shit. Good times. Everybody, thank you so much for being here. See you tomorrow at noon Eastern time. Signing out on behalf of everybody out there in the TNAM universe. I appreciate you. I love you, and we'll talk to you again soon. Take care, everybody. Peace.
Your guide to the truth. TheNewAmericanMedia.com.